Second video. Hopefully I do better. This is part 2 of What If Naruto Was Trained by 4 Kinoichi. Chapter 2, Apology. After removing the seal from Naruto, they stood outside the hospital room. Inside, Naruto was resting after the ordeal. The doctors have checked over him. They say he'll be up in the morning. He doesn't need this. He had allowed his surrogate grandchild the secret. Hiruzen was always aware of Naruto's comfort spot. It had kept him sustained, so he saw no reason he couldn't have it. It was out of the way, so Naruto had all the peace he could want or need. Until now, it was a good thing he made regular checkups on him. Of all the irresponsible and stupid he inherited, the 4 Kinoichi stared at their village leader. They felt an immeasurable amount of shame from their action. "Do any of you have anything to say?" he asked. They flinched at his cold tone. They were used to kind and soft-spoken leader, warm tone, not this cold tone that could even cut steel. "I had never felt this disappointed in you three," he stated. "You two especially," he pointed at Anko and Yugiko. "What do you?" asked Hana, but was stopped by his glare. "Yu-Gi-Oh, you used to protect him as his personal Ambu guard when he was a child. The only one that would." He whispered the last part. "Why?" It was all true. All of the other Ambu would sit back and let the civilian and ninja beat on Naruto. On many occasions, they would often join in. She was the only one that would save him both on and off duty. "I am sorry, Hokage-sama," she was all she could say. "You will turn in your mask. You are on suspended," he stated. "You will return to regular duty as a jonin." "I understand," she stated. "Uncle, you know his pain." It was all he said, causing her to reach for her neck. It was all he needed to say. Uncle wasn't very well liked in the village, thanks to her sensei. She was used by him, blamed for all his crimes. She even had a burden that she never wanted. Now here was one of the few people that accepted her. Now utterly ashamed of her, she couldn't feel lower. "Hokage-sama, They would start but never finish. They were too ashamed. "Uncle, I was going to push to let you become a full jonin, but for now you will remain a special jonin," he stated. "Hana, you will be put on leave from the vet, and your mother informed Kurina. You and your Genin team will be receiving the most humiliating D-rank missions for half pay." "For how long, Hokage-sama?" Hana asked. The Hokage Hiruzen Sarutobi signed. He leaned back as disappointed replaced the anger, the ears becoming visible on the powerful leader. "Until Naruto forgives all 4 of you," he answered. "Not a moment sooner." Understood, Hokage-sama, they stated in unison. Be in my office first thing in the morning. With nothing left to say, he left via Shunshin. They all walked home to wait for him to regain consciousness. They needed to find a good way to apologize. They planned and worked the remainder of the day away. The next day, Hiruzen made his way towards the hospital, only to find Naruto asleep. He waited, but not long. When he awoke, he only asked, "Am I in heaven or hell?" "Neither, you're alive," Hiruzen answered. "How do you feel?" "Okay," Naruto answered. "Good, come with me." He grabbed Naruto, Shunshin to his office. When Naruto looked at the ground, he found himself surrounded by his attackers. They expected to him to shout out, attack, or even in panic. They expected him to shout, attack, or even in panic. He did none of these. He only looked at them. "Who ordered you to kill me?" he asked so offhandedly it scared them. "What?" asked Kurenai. Don't play dumb. Was it a shinobi or the civilian council?" he snapped. "Neither," Uncle answered. "Does it happen so often that it can be so casual?" "I would be out for blood," Uncle thought. "So you all just hate me as well," he simply stated. "No," shouted Yugitu. "None of us have anything against you at all, right, girls?" They agreed. "Then why?" he growled. "Why attack me? Why kill my only piece? Why kill them?" "The foxes?" asked Hana. "Yes," he answered blankly. "They aren't dead," she stated. "When I found them, they were healed to near full health. I healed them the rest of the way," she added proudly. "Why?" he asked in shock. "How? We Inuzuka don't hurt K9 if we can avoid it." What she had her companions do to the foxes have shamed her so much. Her mother was so angry that she took the triplets from her until the Hokage's punishment was over. She even made Hana go back to help the foxes. That's how she knew they were alive. "She is telling the truth, Naruto," stated their leader. "It seems that when your blood fell onto them and it had some healing properties. We have to do some tests later. Please hear them out. Please hear them out." "Thank you," he stated. "They are very important to me." When Hana took a discreet look at the Hokage, she asked with her eyes, "Did I do good?" The glare he gave was all the answer of hell no. "We don't hate you, Naruto. Not for your problem," stated Kurenai, hoping to avoid mentioning the QB. "That's why we're here to apologize for what we did. Furball has brought me a lot of hate. I'm not used to it." "I do want you to know why, though. We thought you were a pervert," stated Anko. "We have a history of being violent with perverts." "It's true," thought Hiruzen. "Some of these poor souls never made it home. However, the ones that did never peeked again. Except for Jiraiya. Not even Tsunade could stop him." That's a relief. And I agree wholeheartedly with your actions," stated Naruto, cheerfully shocking the kinoichi. "Hey old man, can I go now?" The kinoichi were shocked at the complete emotion change. complete emotional change, even more so that he had forgiven them. Are you saying you forgive us? Asked Yugito. Yep, just like that he forgave us. He is so different from what the reports say, thought Kurenai hit realization hit. He was wearing a mask. She looked towards her friend Anko, just like Anko. Wait, I have something for you. Reaching into his desk drawer, he pulled out a few sheets of paper. This is the deed to the 3 acres of land, so you are now the sole owner of that area. He held up a second sheet. This is a copy just in case. Can you guess the center of those 3 acres? The happiness in Naruto was indescribable. He was being given the land that had been like a home to him, and more, so much more. There was only one way he could properly thank his leader. Thank you, Hokage-sama. Naruto spoke and gave a deep bow. To say that Sarutobi was shocked was an understatement. Naruto, as in Naruto Uzumaki, had been respectful. He quickly recomposed himself before sadly asking, This isn't going to happen often, is it? No way, old man, Naruto shouted. Just on special occasions. It was a good dream. It was good to dream, amused the leader. But I'll get him to give me proper respect one of these days. The aged leader swore. Well, I'll see you later. Opening the window, the blond boy jumped out. His shouts of happiness could still be heard from inside. The leader turned back towards the kinoichi. Well, he asked. Get out there and apologize, he ordered. But she was stopped by his glare. Not good enough. His tone ran them right out of the window behind Naruto. I mean through the door, he whispered to himself. Reaching into the desk, he pulled out his crystal ball. He would make sure that they properly did as he ordered. If it happened to get me out of doing paperwork, then it's that much better. Naruto couldn't be happier. Even the glares from the villagers couldn't bring him down. He finally had something that was his and couldn't be taken by the villagers. He saw his teammates come into view. Their sensei was there. I must be late. He decided to hide the deed to his sanctuary. Better safe than sorry, he thought as he placed it in his pouch. Hello, Kakashi-sensei, Sakura-chan. Team, he greeted. Baka, you're late, she screeched as she punched Naruto in the head. Don't talk about Sasuke like that. That is starting to get annoying, he thought. Why are you late, dope? Asked the Uchiha. Because of you, I couldn't get a mission. You also missed team picture, spoke their sensei, never looking from his book. It's not good for a shinobi to be late, Naruto. That's the pot calling the kettle black, answered the dope. Ordered the Uchiha. Answer me, dope, ordered the Uchiha. If you must know, emo, Baka, punch. I was in the hospital. Well, since you missed the mission and training, the day is over. Him probably tripped and fell on your own kunai. He spoke before walking off, missing Naruto's smirk. I got into a fight with a few jonins, he retorted, much to Sakure's anger. There's no way a deadless like you could fight anyone, he snapped. Yeah, Naruto Baka, screeched the howler monkey. Only Sasuke-kun could fight a jonin, so stop lying. Actually, a calm voice intruded. He worked us over pretty good, even if we were holding ourselves back. Was the Uchiha's reply. Why are you four here? Asked Kakashi, putting his book away. He read in front of one of the two of them, but not all four. We wanted the boy, stated Kurenai, with a bit of edge after seeing the book. More training, spoke the Uchiha, stepping forward. Perfect. Not you. We want Naruto-kun, stated Hana. Why are you calling him kun? Why would you want the Baka? Screeched Sakura. Sasuke's kun is much better in every way, but he's mine. Shut her up before I go deaf, begged Hana. Her enhanced hearing was driving her crazy. Let's go, Naruto-kun, called Yugi. I demand to know what you want to do with this dope instead of me. And Uchiha Elite ordered the arrogant Uchiha. He froze when he felt a cold steel of kunai against his neck. You think you can give us demands, eh? Uncle asked as she cut his cheek and licked the blood before spilling it out. Oh, that's the foulest blood I've ever tasted. Hey, you get away from my Sasuke-kun, screeched Sakura. And his blood is not foul, it's amazing. I wonder what yours is like. She spoke, freezing Sakura. Let's find out, she said, taking a threatening step forward. What? She looked around to see Sensei wouldn't help her. Sasuke was frozen, the only Baka. Smirking inwardly, she put on her most pitiful face. You wouldn't let them hurt me, would you, Naruto-kun? He only glared at her. Save me already, you Baka. Tell these hussies to get lost. Please leave Sasuke and Sakura alone, Kakashi finally spoke. I need my best students in full health, he said, ignoring Naruto's feelings. Fine, sighed a mocked. Fine, Uncle said, but I'll get her blood, she vowed to herself. Yugia grabbed onto Naruto, and the four kinoichi shunshined away. They arrived inside an empty training area. Whoa, what was that? Can you teach me? He asked. The kinoichi stared at him. Even through his mask, they could see he wanted to learn. A kid will always be a kid. Dropped the mask, Uncle ordered. Uncle ordered. Uncle, that's Yugi stated. I'll drop mine if you drop yours, he stated, gaining a shocked glare from Uncle. Not many people could see through hers, but her friends and those with similar masks. Naruto-kun. We as Uncle and Yuki, Hana, and I feel awful about yesterday, Kurenai motion to each, so we all want to make it up to you, each of us. If it's out of pity, then save it, he stated coldly. I don't need any pity from anyone. It's not getting, stated Uncle. We don't do anything out of pity. That earned her a smile, a real smile. We are all ashamed. Hana was cut off by a deep rumble sound. It seemed to echo from Naruto and caused him to shake. What was that? Was that your stomach? Uncle asked in disbelief. Naruto had actually blushed from it. Well, I haven't eaten since yesterday, he answered sheepishly. How about buying me some food? He missed Uncle's smirk. Here's a perfect chance for me to pay him off. I'll be a full jonin in no time. Well, Genin, if you're hungry, let me introduce you to the greatest food ever made, she said with stars in her eyes. But I already know about ramen. Ramen? I'm talking about danko. Her mouth watered. The food for the gods. Ramen is the broth of truth and noodles of hope. You poor misguided soul, she stated with a snake of his head. Reaching into her trench coat, she pulled out a hissing snake. Allow me to convert you with pain. The three remaining kinoichi watched in amusement as they went back and forth. They were a bit upset about the fact that Uncle took the first chance of forgiveness, but the show mostly made up for it. They decided to stop things before they escalated into another brawl. Uncle put the snakes away. Naruto, no clones, ordered Hyuga. How about we eat the ramen, offered Kunai, receiving a betrayed glare from Uncle. We eat danko so often, we need a change. She then gained a mischievous smile. You didn't say you were paying to eat Chiraku ramen, Naruto. To Ichiraku ramen, shouted Naruto, dragging the fork kinoichi. 18 bowls of ramen later, Uncle was crying over her wallet. He's still going, she mentally shouted. Where is he putting all of it? It also didn't help that she was paying for her friends as well. Yup, another bowl, Nissan. He froze when he saw the look in her eyes. The crazy snake lady is paying. Let me guess, you offered to pay the whole meal, didn't you? Asked Ayami, the ramen cook's daughter. Yes, she answered, ignoring the snake lady name. Naruchan, aren't you going to break this nice lady? You aren't going to break this nice lady's wallet, are you? He froze at the accusation. Crap, I've been found out. As the sweat poured down the ramen, he remained silent. No, nothing like that at all. That's good to hear. Tenkia spoke in his usual cheery tone. It's good to see him with some friends, and such beautiful ones. He eyed Naruto. I'd hate to ban him for being ungentlemanly. It's okay, the genin here earned it, grinned Uncle, leaning her impressive bust into his head. Surely Naruto-kun brings teams at least, asked Hana, noticing his tense. Naruto-kun, huh? When did my best customer become a player? Tenku asked ignoring the question. It's not like that. They're just treating me as an apology for a misunderstanding, he answered. What happened? He asked, interested. We accused him without any evidence and were punished for it, Yu-Gi-Oh answered, causing the four kinoichi to away shame. Causing the four kinoichi to look away in shame. How would you ladies like to know a secret about Naruto-chan's whiskers? Ayami asked in a mischievous way. This gained the interest of all four kinoichi. No, Nisan, he begged. Just give them a rub, spoke Tenki before walking into the back, ignoring Naruto's call for traitor. Wait, if you don't do it, I'll pay for my own meal, he pleaded. Not happening, Genny. Hana hold him down, Uncle ordered sadistically. Wait, Uncle, I think you should take him up on that, reasoned Hana. Just look how much he ate. As she looked at the piles of ramen bowls, her wallet started to feel very small. He had somehow eaten another 19 bowls. How did you? She looked at him in the eyes. Why? You shouldn't turn your back on me, he chinned. Remember, I'm the prankster from hell for a reason. Fine, she growled. Pay for your own meal. Looks like I'll be a special journey for a bit longer. After an extra 2 bowls, Naruto paid for himself and the kanoichi. Kurenai turned. Since you're Genin, we've decided to take you shopping for proper clothes. A real shinobi would never be caught dead in that monstrously. They heard him mumble something under his voice. Could you please speak up? We can't hear you, Yu-Gi-Oh requested. It's all that the villagers would let me buy, he repeated. They either would sell me outdated or ruined stuff. Forever doubt the price. Usually both. Oh. They either sell me outdated or ruined for over double the price. Usually both. Uncle lowered her head in understanding. She went through the same thing when her sensei left the village. No one wanted to do business with a snake whore. His mask jumped back on. It's not all bad. I actually like orange. I know a place that will sell you. It's where I know a place that will sell to you. It's where I got my stuff, Uncle, to go. It's a shinobi-only store, so you can get your clothes and weapons from there, but not food or household items, spoke Kurenai. Where is it? What is it called? Can you show me? He asked, mostly desperately. Come on. Grabbing his arms, she shunted them away. They reappeared in front of the shop. It was a wide, one-story building with several wide windows, and a symbol of a Chinese dragon coiling around a leaf sat on the center of the roof. There was only one really thing that caught Naruto's attention. One of the windows were boarded, and it looked as if it had been boarded several times. This is the leaf dragon, stated Uncle. You can get anything for a shinobi here, or have it custom made. It being the clothes and weapons to fighting styles at a low mid-level jutsu. Walking inside, they were greeted by the owner standing behind a counter. He made his way. He was a tall man with strong-looking hands and arms. He seemed to be going gray, but gave off the power of a man at his prime. He want he watched each customer with a calculative eye. There, there was a long running scar down his cheek. A new customer, huh? He asked. Who are you and what can I get you? Coughed the cough demon cough brat. One of the customers hinted to not too quietly. Instantly, Naruto turned to leave, but was stopped by a hand on his shoulder. Surprisingly, it wasn't either from Kinoichi. It was from the hand from the owner. Excuse me a second, sir. He spoke kindly. This is going to be good, giggled Uncle. The owner calmly reached over the counter to the one that had broken the third law. Grabbing him by the scruff of his neck, he hurled the man out of the boarded window. Reaching under his counter, he easily pulled out a large twin-headed axe. Does anyone else want to insult my customer? He asked menacingly. I have plenty of windows. Silence. No one was crazy enough to say anything. A few people did leave quietly. They'll be back. They always come back. He ran one of the best shinobi stores in the village. Naruto, this is Denki. He did the same for me at my first day, spoke Uncle. Perfect shot. Doesn't look like it, spoke Hana. You missed the center. I wasn't aiming for the center. There was a rusty nail sticking out. He grinned. Like I said, gloated Naruto. Gloated Uncle. Perfect shot. Now what can I get you? He asked Naruto. Naruto was in the state of shock. Not only was this man allowing him to shop here, he had protected him. We want to get rid of this, she motioned to his jumpsuit, and make him look like a proper shinobi. But leave some orange. He seems to like it. Alright, kid, he spoke. Strip and spread 'em, he ordered in a serious but slightly dark and sadistic tone. What? He cried Naruto, ready to jump out the newly opened window. Wait, Naruto, shouted Yugi over Denki and Uncle's laughter. I need you to take proper measurements, he said after calming down from his laughing fit. Your jumpsuit is too bulky. That's just how he pranks new customers, spoke Kurenai before sending him a glare. And speaking of his long-time customers, you think you would have learned after all of the people you run off, or the kinoichi who've attacked you, chastised Hana. This means war, spoke Naruto low and sinisterly. He was the king of all pranksters in Konoha. He would not be a prank victim without retribution. No one pranks the prankster from hell and gets away with it. Now Denki paled. He had heard from Naruto's prankings from the people. He had heard Naruto pranked people for revenge. They would always be remembered for the high degree of humiliation. No one shakes the bee's nest without getting stung, he thought. Wait, I'm sure we can reach an agreement, Denki spoke, sweating heavily. I'm listening, Naruto stated. I have an elite set of training weights in the back. He hurried. They only need They only need chakra, so you don't have to take them off during battle, he explained. They're yours for half off. I need to eat too. Naruto's mouth was watering at the prospect of those training weights. He could train all times doing the simplest of tasks. I'm getting stronger in no time, believe it. Deal, he spoke with his best poker face. As Naruto had his measurements taken, a thought occurred to him. It had been bugging him since they had picked him up from his team. They had given him an answer, but now he wants the measurements. They had given him an answer, but now he wanted the whole truth. Once the measurements were finished, Denki went to the back. He chose that moment to ask, "Why are you all doing this for me?" he asked. "I told you that I forgave each of you in the old man's office, so I want the real reason." "We told you you're lying," he stated. "I know when I'm being lied to." "We felt sorry for you," Uncle answered before mentally kicking herself. It was half true, but he was anything but like him. Not even getting a chance to finish her thought, he started speaking. "Pity? Do you think this is all out of pity?" He was already walking, but the door before him was pulled back. "Naruto, I think you should know the whole truth," stated Yu-Gi-Oh. They told him everything, how the Hokage ordered an apology, how they'd be demoted, how he demoted them until was fulfilled, everything. "I see," he said calmly. I'll tell him I forgive you, and you can go back to your lives. You won't have to bother with me again." He whispered the last part sadly. "No," Uncle stated. "What?" he asked, confused. "Isn't that what they wanted?" "I said no," she repeated. "I am going to apologize properly. Tell me what you want." "You don't need to," he stated. "I said, tell me," she hissed. "Do you want money? Jutsus? Do you want someone dead?" she thought. "Do you want to..." Let me repeat that. "Do you want money? Jutsus? Do you want someone dead?" she thought. "Do you want me to sleep with you?" No, maybe, and no," he stated. "I don't want you to do something out of..." He was stopped by a harsh slap across the face. Denki, who had returned, thought that, well, that will leave a mark. He had no idea what was happening. He just knew that it would be best to stay out of sight. "You asked me to drop my mask. Well, I'm right here," she stated. "Look at me." He did. He looked into her eyes. She saw everything, her pain and regret. There was a fear that it would never end. It was being held on a small line of hope. "Your eyes are just like mine," he stated. "Yeah," she admitted. "Just not as intense as yours. Not far behind, Naruto. I ask you again, what do you want?" He knew he wanted something he had been since descend. He knew what he wanted. It was something he had been declined since the academy. "Do you all feel this way?" he asked, receiving a yes from them. "Train me in your arts so I can be powerful." "That's all getting?" she asked. "We can get plenty of jutsu scrolls for you." "No, I want you all to train me, but not buy me off. Can you do that?" he asked. "Do this for me and we're even. If not, I'll still tell the old man I forgive you." There aren't many ninjutsus or taijutsus we can teach you, spoke Yugia. I know, he said. I want to be trained by you in all of your arts. The kinoichi looked at each other. There was someone who wanted to learn from their skills from them. He even offered them a way out if decided not to. What about your sensei? Asked Yu-Gi-Oh. He must have touched something. My sensei hasn't taught me anything. All he does is go on and on about teamwork. He's needed. I'll be back. All he does is go on and on about teamwork and needing better chakra control, which he hasn't taught me. Then focuses on the Uchiha. They frowned at the obvious favoritism. He hadn't even seemed to care about that they were talking about Naruto. They shared a smile. He had shown great potential in their scuffle. We warned you that we couldn't teach you a lot of flashy jutsus, Hana warned. If we do this, you have to give us full commitment. The minute you start slacking, we are stopped and we are even. Deal, he answered, but I have one request. Depends. We are keeping this a secret from my team. Deal. They gave Naruto an encouraging smile. It was quickly replaced by a look of true sadistic pleasure. Well done, Naruto. Welcome to hell. That is end of part 2. I'll link the story in the description again. If you guys could comment anything wrong I did to help me improve. If you guys could also like the video, it would show me that people want to listen to this. And thanks for watching the video or listening.